What's this?
Hello, welcome back to the Freak Show. Bumpy McSquigums here. I want to thank you all for joining me as I continue with my Let's Play of Torment Tides of Numenera. This is going to be fun because I think we're going to go and get some pretty sweet loot over here. And then hopefully I can figure out how the loot system works a little bit better than I did last time because I didn't do so well. No, I did not. What's this? It's the Knave's card. A playing card shows a grinning Nibovian child. When you rub your thumb over the card, it triggers an adaptive illusion that changes the face of the card. Though you can't discover the trick to getting specific card faces to appear. Huh. Well, that does sound useful. And then some more spray flesh. I'll take it. We apparently don't heal. We're still called the last cast-off. We didn't get to, like, rename ourselves or anything like that. That's too much work for us. It's fine. Alright, let's go to our inventory and let's see what we've got. Alright, so he's got that. Can we drag that over? Oh, good. It worked that time. I think I'm going to give you the crossbow. Probably, and I suppose we should probably split this. Shift? How do I split? Oh, I'm sure there's a way. There's always a way to split things. Well, there's usually a way to split things. I didn't know how. Normally it's like hold shift or control. Right click it? No. Because having like one each would... Oh, there we go. Okay, so each one of us has one of these. That's good. We can't have that as a secondary weapon, huh? Alright, that's cool. That's cool. We no longer care about this. Because this looks like it's probably going to be better. Because, you know, this is what we do. We hold two-handed weapons and we're scary when we have two-handed weapons. It also means that we can give our one-handed mace thing over to him. Because our mace is greater than his. Alright, so let's double check. His mace does 4 physical damage plus 2 per effort, no, max of 6. Ours does 4 physical damage, 3 chemical damage, plus 2 effort per effort applied, which is a total of 6 as well. So everything the same, except it also has the addition of 3 chemical damage. So yeah, quite a bit better, I dare say. This is a finely made armband, or perhaps a bracelet for something larger than most humans. It is made of ordinary golden metal and encrusted with worthless gems. If you focus your gaze on it for a few seconds, it disappears from sight and can no longer be felt against the skin. It appears at its last location once no one is looking there. That's weird. That's kind of weird. I will take that from you. And you will like it, probably. Can we equip it? It's not equipable. Alright, well, so be it then. Okay, can we rest? How do we do that? I'm assuming that we have to go somewhere to rest.
Yes.
Alright. So let's see, was there anything that we didn't get to see yet?
Of course.
Oh, we actually get to go over there and... I didn't even know we could do this. A bubbling mass of sludge floats on the surface of the water. Every once in a while, an oily nodule, it'd be nodule, I guess, nodule, separates from it and hurtles into the sky. You catch momentary glimpses of a muck-coated object in the putrid mass. Examine the sludge. Carefully, you lean closer to the heaving mass. After a moment's study, you notice that the globules rising in the sky always contain something, be it a shiny core of untainted seawater or a tiny fish. Quick fingers, perception, attempt to retrieve object trapped into the sludge. Oh, this is going to go well. 45, hold on. 80, 100%. There we go. The next time sunlight strikes the object's streaked surface, you're ready. You snatch it from the oily mass and clean it the best you can. We got fresh vapors. Sweet. What does that do? Oh, that heals 10 points of intellect and confers fresh vapors plus 1 intellect edge. Huh. Neat. You know, most people don't go sticking their hands into reeking sludge, but it seems to have worked out for you, this time anyway. Mostly because I had you do it. No, because, you know, I'm smart like that. What's this? Well, look at that. We got some Shin, some more Elutriated Force, and, yeah, stuff for intellect.
Done.
Alright, what do we got over here? This metal door is thick, heavy, and unmarked by time. Double rows of circular bumps run horizontally and vertically across its surface. It is firmly sealed. Examine the door more carefully. The metal surface is infused with minuscule threads that are barely visible to the human eye. They only run in straight lines and right angles, and they seem to converge at the circular bumps. Upon closer inspection, you notice that each of the bumps is unique. Are unique. Each of the bumps are unique. Some have flat faces, others are actually many-sided polygons, and a few are marked by tiny apertures. Huh, interesting. Unfortunately, you don't see anything that resembles a knob, keyhole, or access device. You try touching both the flat planes of the door and the small bumps, but nothing happens. Try knocking. You knock lightly at first, then harder. The door makes no sound at all, nor does it shudder or yield. Soundproof, fireproof, explosion-proof, no point in knocking. It's not going to open up, not even for you. Well?
Yes. Now.
We gave it our best college try. It just didn't quite work out,
Yes.
unfortunately. Although the cube hovers... Yeah. What is this one? Something was snapped in half. Yeah, I remember that. What's this one? Cobalt petals, folded with short metal stem, calcified minerals. Yes, I remember that. And this one is... The spherical head hangs loosely from the stanchion. A single metal fiber holds it in place. Same thing over here. A sickly green crust scabs over numerous cracks and divots in this turret.
On it.
Doing it now. Don't do that now. Strange lines, ripples, and forms and sunken buildings dramatically different from the architecture above the waterline. Okay, I think we did all that we really could do over here, so it's time to continue on. I'm still a bit worried about him and his lack of HP, but we'll see how this plays out soon enough. We're leaving the area. Hopefully we don't get into another battle right away, and then we just get wrecked, and then we're laying there crying and bleeding, and that's just awful. We don't want to have to deal with the awful. So hopefully this goes well. This game is all about choices and all sorts of things. Sometimes even a bad choice or something bad happening can turn to be good. Let's get you to the Cult of the Changing God. They've encamped by the clock in the Great Square here. Oh, cool. Oh, there are so many different things. What's this? Twin creatures of a type you've never seen flank a central orb. Their cultural significance is lost to you.
All right.
Armors of wildly different materials are arrayed neatly within the stall. Books and scrolls line shelves extending into the depths of the stall. It is obvious that these are true lovers of the written word. From a distance, these books and scrolls appear to be haphazardly piled together, but closer up, small plaques with categories inscribed on them reveal an order to the seeming chaos. Alright, where to even begin? There's an arms merchant up here. Blood! I see blood on the walls and the howling doorway. Every prophet's got to eat. How about a little donation, hey?
On it.
The sign over the stall says, "The Arming Room, buy, sell, trade." Under the awning, a skinny man with stooped shoulders and a concave chest is clearing a filth-caked weapon of some kind. He salutes you with a greasy hand. "Done in a moment. Have a look around. If you need anything, let me know." Oh, can you tell me about Sagus Cliffs? Good place for the arms trade. Not much call for weapons in the city proper, it's true. The levies keep things quiet. He shrugs. I get most of my business from mercenary companies. The endless battle draws them by the dozens. Explorers, too. Plenty of carkers save up their shins and kit themselves out. All fancy-like. Then they wander down the reef or into the bloom and never come back. Okay, well, show me what you have for sale. Alright, he's got a couple of ciphers for sale that don't seem to be too expensive. 6 energy damage and 4 physical damage to all. Okay, and then fresh vapors. Oh, do we have both? Or maybe no, those are ours. Okay, so fresh vapors is another. All right. Okay, that's kind of legit. All right, I think we sell this. I think we're gonna sell this as well. And I kind of want to sell the card, but I don't know if we need it for something. But we're going to sell it anyway because of reasons. We keep the spray flesh and the other stuff. Let's see. Heavy melee weapon. And what is this? This is a heavy melee weapon as well. 8 physical, 2, and 2 is max. Okay. And this is 8, 2, and... Oh, sorry. 7, 2, and 6 is max. Well, that's interesting. I do like me an axe. I'm sure you guys are all groaning because you know, but yeah, I'm a pretty big fan. Pretty big fan, but we're not going to do it this time because, well, it's still pretty cheap. And we have the greatsword. We'll hold on to it for now. We may come back for that later. Let's go take a peek at what you have. You're using the mace. You could probably stand to use a shield of some sort. So let's go ahead and buy that. Let's put that on you. There you go, buddy. Maybe you'll be slightly less terrible at your job now. Maybe. I'm going to hold on to this. I'm going to get rid of this. Sell it. Okay, I think we're fine. I think we're okay. We'll see. Not a lot of armor there, though. Alright, let's talk to Steristi, or whatever this person's name was. Steristi. Nearly every inch of this merchant's body is covered in tightly wound robes and furs. A hood obscures its head, and a mask conceals its face. It caresses a cracked ancient scroll with dark fingers. Okay. It notices you and gently taps its similarly dressed companion on the shoulder, leaving a smudge on fibrous ink. Or of fibrous ink. Did that... What just happened? Oh, it's trying to get out, maybe? That's weird. I like how it's like a living city, too. A living, breathing area. It's pretty neat. Falinda recognized the thief at once, the creature says, crossing its swaddled arms. Perhaps he imagined that by speaking with Steristi, he would evade Falinda's notice. Unfortunately for him, nothing ever did. Why is your partner narrating me? Watch Steristi work. The merchant's fingered hand glide over a faded parchment with the faint sounds of quill scratching. Vibrant letters and an unfamiliar tongue appear in their wake. Who's your partner narrating me? Steristi either ignores you or does not hear you. Why don't you talk? Merchant does not acknowledge your question in the slightest. Okay, we'll watch him work some more, I guess. The merchant again passes a hand over the page, and you hear the scrape of quill on paper. Dark letters emerge from the shadow of that hand as if pulled from beneath the page. Okay, well, that was fun. Scritch. You called me a scritch? Shame on you. Belinda! Nearly every inch of this merchant's... Yeah, conceals his face. It doesn't stop you from noticing that it is apparently furious with you. Trembling, it bats at its similarly dressed companion. Both of them turn unimpressive masks back to you. Neither Falinda nor Steristi could believe it, but the thief had come back. Had he come in shame, ready to return what he had taken? No. His hands were empty, his expression baffled. Falinda crosses swaddled arms. Perhaps the thief had simply forgotten to return what he borrowed. but this made him no less a thief. Are you narrating me? The thief said, trying to distract Falinda from the matter at hand, but the merchant would not be distracted. 10 years ago, this thief had borrowed a book. Falinda wondered if the scoundrel was possibly unfamiliar with the definition of the word. It did not mean taking a thing and keeping it, after all. Steristi pointedly returns to work, ignoring you both. Falinda sighs, massaging its temples with gloved hands. But in the end, Falinda took a deep, deep breath and asked the thief to simply return the sealed and long overdue book with the 5-colored sigil on its cover. How could you possibly remember who borrowed a book from you for 10 years ago? The cunning thief said, hoping to arouse doubt in Falinda's mind, but that hope was a foolish one. Falinda was memory in the same way that the thief was fatty tissue fluids and chunks of calcium. The merchant crosses its arms. Falinda was out of patience. Was the thief going to return the book or not? I'll find the book, you have my word. The thief declared. Falinda was satisfied, temporarily, and with that, the merchant returns to its work as well. The gold tide raised a tiny amount, and so did the indigo tide. Why do you narrate everything I say? The thief said, but Falinda knew from long experience that there was no explaining it. The merchant kneels before a bookshelf and jams book after book into the remaining space. This frustrated Falinda. After all, the two merchants were creatures of words, bound in metal and cloth, but whenever Falinda tried to bend these same words into explanations and answers, they crumbled and fell apart. They could not fold themselves around the truth. The merchant slams the final book into place, and so, Falinda said nothing. Why won't you tell me why you're narrating everything I say? The thief pleaded. He did not understand that Falinda wasn't speaking, that what the thief was hearing was the passage of time. Well, that's weird.
Making a note. Fine.
Okay, so apparently we borrowed and lost a book. Otero? Wind spins off the distant sea, sweeping between you and the boy, whistling up toward the peaks of Sagas Cliffs. He glances at you, then at the crowds in the plaza beyond. He appears to be looking for someone. Saw you wandering down in the reef, he said. Did you get to that star before the others did? He looks back at your face and grins. Guess not. That ain't a face that's found good pick. Don't be rude, boy. There's nothing to find down there. I was the falling star. No. A lot of people went looking for that star, didn't they? The dominant tides have shifted. Blue has raised a tiny amount. Nah, not too many. Gotta be a carker to go down to the reef. That place is haunted. But despite his hard words, his eyes settle on yours, studying, deciding. His mouth settles into an irritated line. Look, he says, running a hand over his stubbled scalp. You hide it well, but I can tell you're new here. I ain't trying to offend you, but I don't like leaving folk new to Sagas on their own. If you have any questions about the city, or Circus Minor in particular, I'll answer them, free of charge. Of course, it looks like you already have a guide, he says, straight-faced to Alagern, although you might be better listening to someone with taste, or anyone else who doesn't think living in the underbelly is a good idea. A little extra advice never hurt anyone, Alagorn said placidly. And not everyone likes sleeping under the stars. Or fresh air, the boy replies, grinning. Or self-respect, Alagorn rolls his eyes, but subsides, smiling. Anyway, Otero says, what can I do for you? Well, do you live here? Nah, not really, he says. Walls are nice, but they keep you in one place. I like to move around, explore. So you don't have a home? Don't need one, he says. I carry my life with me. He pats his bags. I'm looking for the cult of the changing god.
That.
Well, you're not going to be able to miss them, he says, smirking. They're camped around that weird clock on the other side of the square. He settles his hands on his hips. What do you want with those carkers anyway? They owe you something? Yes, I'm the changing god. I just need to ask them a few questions. Fair enough, he says, shrugging. Even carkers get it right sometimes. Where's the Order of Truth?
Making a note.
In Government Square. From here, follow the path around to the left and look for the stairs going up. So we're in Circus Minor now? It's weird. What can you tell me about the city? Yeah, we're in Circus Minor now. Yeah, the heart of the city, he says, folding his arms. The levies and the politicians... Okay. Will tell you that the government square is the center of Sagus Cliffs, but they're not thinking right. He spreads his hands, framing the plaza. When folks come to Sagus, they come here. They talk and trade, flirt and fight, tell stories. Everyone who comes here leaves different. His hands fall away. Anyway, what do you want to know? What can I do for you again? What's happening on that stage? An execution, he says, rolling his eyes. It'll be going on for a few days yet. All those folks think they'll learn great truths from the nightmares of a dying man. He shakes his head. It's not worth my time, but it might be worth yours if you haven't seen one before. Why would I want to see an execution? That sounds awful. Does anyone around here know how to fix complex machinery? He says, scanning the plaza. Prada, that's the bug lady in the market, is pretty good with machines. You might ask for her advice. He rubs the back of his neck. Otherwise, you'll want to visit the foreman in the underbelly. They might be able to fix it if they can stop fighting long enough. Okay, well, that's fair. What are you doing here anyway? Oh, I just got back from a scrounge, and he says, and I'm here trading salvo for supplies before I set out again. Enjoying the sights, you know? His eyes sweep the crowds again. Perception. You can't help notice that he doesn't seem to be enjoying himself. He looks downright unhappy, guilty even. Who are you looking for? He flinches, then glares at you. First, it seems like he's not going to answer. A girl I met a while back, he says at last, looking away. She was new in town, like you. I'm just wondering whatever happened to her. If she's okay. Anyway, do you have questions? I want to ask about something else. Let's see. Where can I find a place to sleep around here? That seems like a good one. The cult of the Changing God might let you sleep in their camp, or you can try Tranquility's Rest in Caravanserai, I guess. Can you tell me about the city? Well, it depends on what you want to know, he says. I spend most of my time in Circus Minor, but there's other districts too. Government Square, Cliff's Edge, the Underbelly, and Caravanserai. He scratches his chin. There's also the Reef of Fallen Worlds, but you've already been down there. Tell me about the reef. Only carkers, slavers, bullies, and diggers desperate for scrounge go there, he coughs. And, well, you, of course. He stares past you down the winding steps. Besides, folk thinks it's haunted by ghosts from the previous worlds. And I've seen enough down there to agree with them. But you don't need me telling you what it's like. You're lucky you didn't get robbed on your way back, or worse. He eyes you expectantly. Someone named Koro attacked me. He's dead now, so I don't think he'll make that mistake again. I passed some corpses on the way up. We paid our respects, of course. Ooh, the gold tide has raised a tiny amount. Of course, he says, casually leaning around you to look for the corpses in question. I want to know about Caravanserai. That's the port of Sagus, he says. Any ship that can fly lands there, makes their trades, and then takes off for foreign lands. He turns a scornful eye toward the distant flags on the high crag. Plenty to see right here in Sagus. I don't know why people insist on leaving. What is Cliff's Edge? A damn dangerous place to live, he says, laughing. Folks build their houses out on the ledge, over the sea, and everyone gets upset when one of them falls. I hear it's been getting worse lately. Watch your feet up there. What can you tell me about the underbelly? Imagine an underground place where the city sends everyone they don't like. Cannibal cultists, mutants, carkers, and thugs. Now add a stink like burning metal and cooking meat. That's the underbelly. It ain't that bad, kid. It has a good side. Yeah, Otero says, grinning. If you ever find it, go ahead and let me know. You mentioned Government Square? I did, he says, nodding. Bet you can guess what's up there. Uh-huh. What's in Government Square? Really? He says, looking pained. You want me to lay this out? Fine. The government. The government? is in Government Square. And the Order of Truth, he admits, but they're just as fancy as government folks. Okay. I want to ask about something else. I think we're done with him. Thank you. Thank you, you were very informative. I don't know if you were actually a kid. What does this traveler have to say? Sorrow stalks the streets, feeding on the marked. Beware her soul breath. Sorry? Your people are tall, like Sona and Bayan in my city. She hides in corners and cracks and okay.
Let's do it.
It's weird. Alright, what do we have now? Oh my gosh, we have so many things and there's an execution going on over here. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to break off the episode here. There seems to be a lot of people to talk to, a lot of stuff to do in this town. I don't know how long it's going to take us to get through the town before we get back to the next battles or what have you. But it's all part of the story, guys and gals. I'm enjoying it so far. I hope you are as well, and I'll see you in the very next episode. Until then, my name's Bumpy McSquigums. Thank you so much for stopping by the Freak Show, and I will see you later.